quick introduction to myself. I'm a chartered accountant, and I've been doing due diligence both from a buyer and seller perspective for more than 20 years. Why do you need to do due diligence? Well, there are three reasons. One, to make sure you know what you're buying. It's like buying a house. It's one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make. And you really need to make sure that you know fully, are you buying a 3-bedroom semi or are you buying a 2-bedroom terrace? So what you do is you look at all aspects to make sure that you fully understand it. It helps you identify the risks. So you want to look at what it is that could go wrong and what it is that could go right. And also, as part of the due diligence, check for any issues that might affect how you want to structure the deal, what you think the business is worth. What's the scope of the work that we do? Well, first of all, we look at the profit and loss account. We look at how has the historic trading, has sales and profit gone up? Has it gone down? Or are there things that the buyer should be aware of? We do a thing called an analytic review, and this is just looking at the numbers and seeing if they make sense. For some clients, but not all, we also look at sales by customer or by product and look at what's going on with the gross profit. Because it is important that if the historic trends, you want to know what they look like, and are they going to continue? Moving on to the balance sheet. We look at each account in the balance sheet and make sure the assets are correctly shown and the liabilities are also correct. This may also flag up some issues, such as if there is stock, is that stock real and is it correctly valued? And on the liability side, we look at, is every liability of the company included in the accounts? Can you imagine buying a business and suddenly discovering the liabilities you weren't aware of? This could be a fairly major factor. So this is obviously one of the critical points that we look at. In relation to taxation, we will review the tax and comment on whether everything is compliant and if there are any issues. Sometimes, not always, we look at the cash flow to see if because they're not always available. If they are, just to see, is the business generating cash or is it consuming cash? And finally, we will, in some circumstances, look at very specific areas that the potential buyer may have specific questions or concerns about.